Welcome back to We Got Goosebumps, a podcast dedicated to landmark horror series for children, written by R.L. Stine back in the 90s. I'm the buffest butcher knife wielding deaf aunt you children have ever seen. Dylan.
Oh, now I'm about to kidnap your frickin' mermaid. I'm Travis.
Don't touch my mermaid, though.
I'm gonna take it.
No.
It's mine.
Don't.
It's my mermaid.
No. Okay. This is why you can't trust scientists, because they just reach around and touch your mermaid. But enough about that, because you know what? This is a bonus episode. And on today's bonus episode, we're going to be reading a handful of lovely emails that we've received during our spring/summer/ Labor Day break, I guess. I forget when we normally pick up the normal seasons again. It's going to be fall, right?
I don't even...
Somewhere
I think new seasons, they come out in the summer.
Yeah,
we'll
whatever.
Figure it out.
Yeah, it's fine. But we're going to be reading the emails we got since we last were recording. And you know what? You can also write more emails to us if you want to wait 6 or 7 months for us to get around to reading them.
Yeah.
I mean, now
Yeah.
might not be the best time to send us emails if you want to hear us respond to them immediately. But if you're patient, now's a good time at wegotgoosebumps@gmail.com. That's the very short and easy to read We Got Goosebumps.
Wait a minute. Is
That's
it We
wrong.
Got Goosebumps?
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
wrong.
We Got
That's
Goosebumps podcast. Yeah, I think that was my bad. I had one job here in the sheet, and I messed it up. Pretty sure it's We Got Goosebumps podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, it is We Got Goosebumps podcast at gmail.com. So you can write us. You can write us at We Got Goosebumps podcast at gmail.com. It's also in the description. Honestly, you shouldn't be taking down notes while you're driving and listening to the podcast, being like, oh shit, this is the only way I can get the email addresses as Dylan badly reads it off the thing. I crashed and I killed 6 children when I crashed. Anyway, so we're gonna read those, and then
Yeah. Then we're going to step away because we're going to be watching TV episodes from the Chillogy miniseries of Goosebumps episodes because that was recommended to us via one of those emails. So that's what happens. You send us emails, boss us around a little bit. Sometimes we'll do what you tell us because I thought it was a good idea. We both did. So we'll be stepping away. It's a 3-parter. So we're going to watch those, come back, chime in. I had never heard of this, so I'm pretty excited to get to it. But I tell you what, before we do get to it, Dylan, it's been a minute. You know, we've had some holidays between. We've had some life experiences. What's been going on with you? You doing all right? You got you have more hair, it seems, than before.
I do.
I mean, it continues to grow. I understand how hair works. I think the last time you and I were together was... No, that couldn't be right. That can't be right. Was it for the... Did we finish recording last season before we did the charity stream? I don't remember.
I think we've recorded bonus episodes since we did the charity stream.
That's right. We did our season recap, which was fun. That was fun.
Our top 10.
Yeah, very cool. Other than that, I mean, I'm looking for a job. You think R.L. Stine would hire me as like one of his people that makes sure everyone's in line and no one hangs around him too long or gets too close to him when he's on a book tour, like his bodyguard? You think our guy would hire a guy like me for that?
No.
Shit. Well,
I mean, yes, and you would be good at it.
Didn't really save my feelings from being hurt, but I appreciate your honesty. But yeah, I've been checking in on R.L. Stine, Dylan, a lot of his pictures on Instagram and on you see him post around on Reddit. Our guy, I don't know if it's kayfabe at this point, but he never looks happy with a fan, and that delights me.
I like how you apparently just want him to be miserable.
If he were a happy-go-lucky guy, I feel like it would ruin the vibe of the stories. The fact that I can tell he's a little miserable and he just writes stories about children being scared, I feel like that's better.
It's kind of... He started off as jovial Bob Stine, and now I'm starting to wonder if something happened between jovial Bob Stine and Goosebumps where he's just like, no, I am no longer jovial. I am now just Bob Stine. Bringer of
Sold
misery.
his soul to Scholastic.
Maybe he had children That's what happened between when he was jovial Bob Stein. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to make all the kids laugh. It's gonna be great. I can just make them all laugh and giggle. His first son comes out and he's like, oh, Jesus, fucking shut up. I need to sleep. God, I wish they were all miserable and sad. I hate all children. I'll kill their dogs and I'll kill them. I'll turn them into ghosts. I think that's more.
Yeah,
I
think
honestly,
you're right.
I think that's exactly what happened.
I think you're right. I think you're spot on. And we've got this guy figured out. Man, when he comes on the podcast, there's going to be no more mystique to him. We'll have him all figured out. We won't even have anything
it'll
to
just
ask him.
be like, is your experience with your own children why you hate children? As evidenced by what happens to all the children in your books. And they'll probably give us some canned answer about like, oh, this scary book, so the kids have to be in peril. It's like, no, sir. You could have done nice Christian books where they just go around bringing other children to Jesus. But instead, he chose to write books about murdered children and spooky things and very upsetting things happening to children. And you know me, I'm a big proponent of children. So
You're going to finish that sentence? Okay.
Yeah,
like
it's upsetting what happens to them in these books.
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bullying. There's a whole lot of bad basketball being played. But yeah, I mean, I have fun. I'm looking forward to the next season, though. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently I'm not alone here. We got some people recently discovered the show and recently figured out that the email address is, in fact, wegotgoosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. This first one here is from Retralsis. It's the name that they chose to go by on the interwebs. Name of the email is A Comment After Binging. I recently stopped listening to my favorite Goosebumps recap podcast, and my second favorite Goosebumps recap podcast hasn't updated in months. So I figured it was time to find a third favorite Goosebumps recap podcast, and since I was already a listener to some other Polykill or Polymedia shows, I might as well listen to We Got Goosebumps. Like how this guy, 2 other podcasts had to die before we even landed at third place, but I'm happy to be here, Rich Rawls. Thank you so much for putting us in your ears. We appreciate it.
We do.
He says, it didn't take long to binge through the first couple of seasons, and I have something I need to share. In your episode on Why I'm Afraid of Bees, Travis says at one point that the kid got beat up. Instead of got beat up. Dylan completely ignored this. Maybe he didn't notice it. Well, I noticed it. It was a masterful pun, sir. I tip my hat to you with utmost respect, Retralsis. Now, Dylan, I got to say, in that moment, I remember being very disappointed in you. I was like, do my puns mean nothing to one of my best friends on this planet? Is he just simply ignoring this proud moment? Beat up?
We've talked about this, about how I'll have later guilt when I go and listen to our podcast and I'll hear that I've missed one of your delightful jokes. And
you're leaking with sincerity right now.
I feel bad. I do feel bad and guilty. And
it happens to me too. I often edit and I'll listen and I'll be like, how come I didn't give that the laughs it deserved? I missed context, probably because I was looking ahead in the notes or whatever, checking the recording. It happens.
Oh, for me, it's just I'm always just so sad.
Yeah. Well, that is true.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know.
But Retralsis, thank you. Hopefully we can make our way up to being your favorite Goosebumps recap podcast. Give us a chance. We'd love to hold the mantle of number one anytime.
Unless we have to do extra work to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you like what you've gotten so far, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah. Nothing's going to change in that regard. Well, except for when I do my solo podcast without Travis. It's going to be like, we're getting smooth with Goosebumps over here at Smooth Bumps. Smooth. And that's where I just
jazz in the background the whole time.
It's by jazz, if you mean the same kind of music that they play in Sears towards the end of the night, and you're just trying to really get to the exit, and your mom thinks that you guys came in through the Sears entrance, and so you're just leaving out, hoping that the car's actually outside the Sears entrance, and that music is playing, and it's just kind of that light, tinkly, there's some sort of horned instrument in the background too, and it's
of course.
And it smells way too much like perfume because you're by that awful counter, and it's just like,
welcome to Smooth Bumps. I'm your host, Dylan. Today we're going to talk about the smooth bumps I have on my inner loin. That might require a salve, maybe something with aloe. All right, first caller. And you forget that it's not a call-in show. The rest of the time, you're just wondering why your phone doesn't work.
I keep responding. Hello?
Anybody there? Hello?
Hello? Dave?
Very cool. Thank you again, Retralsis, for the email. Be as cool as Retralsis. Send an email.
Yeah. Or you could be as cool as Ross. We got an email from Ross, who's loving the podcast. How's it going, beef lovers and psychotic twins? I recently just discovered your podcast and binged it. Freaking hilarious, guys. I never clocked that detail in Horrorland about Clay probably being an affair child, which is why he looks like the dad and the parents are constantly fighting. These books really do hit different as grown-ups, or whatever the hell we are. Ha ha! Thanks for the great podcast. Can't wait for the next season. I'm the werewolf, Ross.
That's not where Ross leaves off. I do want to stop there and say we got another person who found it and binged it. I do like to hear that we're bingeable. I've been told that I'm a once-in-a-while kind of guy. This goes against that theory that sometimes I can be a lot in a small time kind of guy, and I appreciate hearing that. That fills my ego with pride.
What context is that being said to you, or do I not want to know what context that's being said to you?
Oh, when people say I'm a once-in-a-while kind, they just get tired of me. They're like, would you stop talking about Goosebumps?
Is that just at work, or is that... Well, I mean,
that's everywhere.
Yeah,
my family.
Yeah, okay.
Everywhere, really. Okay. Honestly, all over the internet, to be true with you.
Right. Okay.
But thank you. It's also to point out it's not the Ross that you and I both... This is a new Ross, and if I know anything about the Rosses I've met, they're all pretty cool guys, fairly handsome. So I assume that that's true for this Ross as well.
I'm sorry, I'm too busy getting prepared for the next part of his email, so I'm just warming up. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this part's for you. Ross says, P.S. Had a spackle question for Dylan. Since he's such a Friday the 13th fan, I've been bothered by Zombie Kid Jason from Part 1 suddenly being a hulking adult in Part 2 within a year's time, and I'm curious if this idea has any merit. And he lists a few things here. Jason is a vengeful, pissed-off spirit that possesses people who are filled with grief. Pam was possessed by Jason's spirit. Kill her, mommy, kill her. Once Alice killed her, it tried to get her, but failed. The hulking man with a machete is either Jason's dad or a parent of the murdered kids from Part 1. Jason possesses him so completely he alters his appearance to match the ghost, which is why he has normal eyes when Tommy exhumes him, but hydrocephalus eyes when alive and as a zombie. Then he says, almost possesses Tommy Jarvis, which is why he goes batshit, half possesses Roy Burns after his son dies, half the soul in Tommy, half in Roy, jumps from Jarvis to the corpse when Tommy was trying to make Jason die, and why this little boy Jason shows up in dreams and movies like Manhattan to people who have grief. And if that idea has merit, I'm curious about this one as well. So let's stop there before we get on to too many more ideas. What do you think about this canvas that Ross has painted here with Friday the 13th blood spackle?
So, the best blood spackle I've heard about Friday the 13th and the whole world here, because it doesn't make sense. There's a lot of hand waving you have to do to make it, like, look at all this background that Ross had to put together to make the movie make sense, or the series of movies make sense. And, like, if you really drill down, it gets even more nonsensical when you realize that movies 2 through 4 all take place during one really shitty week at Crystal Lake. And like the first movie takes place a year before, and then like 2 through 4 is just one long day. Like it's insane if you actually look at the timeline of what happens, because each movie starts with basically them carting off the bodies from the last movie. So
right.
It's a very short time frame, and then 5, 6, 7 are different points in the timeline. So my personal thing that I've always believed, I'm sorry, I'll try and keep this as short as possible because this is insane, is that the Jason at the end of the first movie is just a dream that Alice was having, that for whatever reason, Jason didn't actually die as a child, and that his mom was just mad about child endangerment, and Jason was alive and just grew up and became like this insane lumberjack in the woods who survives out there. And then after he sees his mom die, he goes on a killing spree. He murders a bunch of kids. Then at the end of this week from hell at Crystal Lake, he gets killed by Jarvis, who murders him to death at the end of 4. 5 and 6 are split in the timeline, where 5 is just a whole alternate universe that they never explore, where Tommy goes insane and he becomes the new Jason at the end of that. And that never happens. So we're just going to ignore 5. And then 6 is where Jason is brought back as a zombie. And so 6, 7, 8, and everything after that, Jason's just a zombie who keeps coming back from the dead. That's the simplest way I think about it. I love the next part of what he says, though, because it helps explain some other things in a different hand-wavy way than I've ever read.
I'll get to it. I think that was a very apt description there, very concise. I was able to follow along with it, so hopefully the audience could as well. Also, a good chance to plug Split Up. Dylan talks at ends about all kinds of horrific movies over there at Split Up, that podcast. Check that out. But yeah, Ross says, Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell are after Freddy versus Jason, and they are dreams that Freddy is inflicting on Jason to see if he can kill or manipulate him after his failure in Freddy versus Jason. That would explain why those movies are so weird and feel like a fever dream. It would also set them up for Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
So,
thoughts?
Yeah, that's fine. I like that. So Jason Goes to Hell is really dumb. What happened is Paramount sold most of the rights to the Friday the 13th franchise to Dimension Films. Was it Dimension? Whatever. No one cares. And they're the ones who had Freddy. And so what they've been doing with Freddy is they kept adding to Freddy's backstory more and more and more, so that Freddy went from being just like a child killer who came back from the dead to murder children in their dreams, to being like, oh, when he was burning alive in the boiler room, he made a pact with an ancient demon to come back. He's like, what the fuck is this ancient demon shit coming from? And that Freddy's mom was a nun who was like raped to death by a bunch of psychopaths. Not a like that's actually in it. Like they just kept adding stuff to explain why Freddy was so evil. And I think there's one line in like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 or 4 where it's Freddy's the bastard child of 1,000 raving maniacs, I think is the line. Like, Jesus. It's insane. So the moment Dimension, I think it's Dimension Films, gets a hold of the Friday the 13th property, they turn Jason into a demon, and he like can jump from body to body throughout Jason Goes to Hell. And it's all about how the Voorhees family have always been like demon or devil worshippers. And like, that's why that Jason's special, because Pamela Voorhees massacre, or like, you know, it's stupid. It's just all this stuff to make him more scary. So I'm fine with that just being nonsense. And then Jason X is Jason Goes to Space, which is, it's a really bad movie. I do love it, though. I've seen that one in theaters. Sure. Like when that was out. Yeah, it's real bad. It's really fucking bad. But, all
right, very cool. Well, there you go.
Also, Freddy vs. Jason. So I like that. The Freddy vs. Jason is, or that the other two movies, Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell, are just visions from Freddy versus Jason. Which, you know what? None of those are my favorite Friday the 13th movies, so.
Again, what's your favorite?
6 or 4. No, 6 or 3. So 3's the 3D one, which is stupid in its own special way, because there's so many moments where they're just like, something's going to come at the camera, and so often it's something stupid, like, it's a yo-yo. It's like, really?
Right, the yo-yo. Can't forget the yo-yo.
Takes so long. It's so bad. But that's also where you get the hockey mask comes in the third one, and because the practical joke character Shelly is really an asshole. Oh my god. Oh, and the biker gang. Holy shit. I need to kind of
want to rewatch those. Now. Ross has got me in the mood.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ross. Appreciate you. But yeah, there you go. You got just grade A branded Dylan spackle all over his favorite franchise. You love to see it. It's sticky in here now. Thank you so much, Ross.
And then next we've got an email from Peyton, simply titled Goosebumps. Hello. I enjoy your podcast while I work from time to time. I grew up with the Goosebumps TV series more so than the books, so I really enjoyed the book and episode review at the end of each season. For the beginning of Season 4, I would really like to see you all review the only 3-part Goosebumps episode. It's called the Chillogy. Looking forward to next season. Sorry, we just rewatched Silence of the Lambs, and I
loved your... Yeah, that was a really good Hannibal. Yeah. It was pretty good.
But thank you.
You've just been doing that around town? Is that how you've been interacting with the strangers around town?
I just tell the Canadians that it's my American accent. Just like, hello, I'm going to... Oh. And then the stabbings, I'm just like, oh, it's an American custom for me to stab you.
And then eat your liver with some Chianti.
Yes. I don't really like wine, so just like, some
liver and beans.
Some tap water.
Tap water and beans.
Yeah, it's the American way. I ate his liver with some tap water and a handful of beans. Just a handful of baked beans straight from the can, and I just scarfed them down. I don't really like liver.
That sounds like Hobo Lecter.
Yeah, it's just... But he's still really, like, just nose in the air about everything. Just real insufferable. Sure. Yeah, he's just like...
Yeah.
Oh, I still... Just quite delightful. Pinky out when you're eating your handful of baked beans. Baked beans cold. You know what scene upset me as a child more than any other scene... Except for Luke getting his hand chopped off in Empire Strikes Back. That's just horrified me as a child.
Oh, you're talking about any movie. I thought you were talking about specifically Silence of the Lambs.
No. Any movie. The scene in Dennis the Menace where they force feed all those baked beans to that one guy. I wanted to barf. I want to barf thinking about it right now, to be honest with you. It's just shoveling baked beans.
That fart storm at that campfire.
Oh,
that's
my
grade
God.
A humor.
I can't.
That's a funny.
I hate it.
That is funny stuff.
Just just little baked beans on his lip. I
was like 63 years old before I realized that was Christopher Lloyd. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
He plays such a good, disgusting old man.
I love the idea that you still don't know it yet, but you're just like, I'm looking forward to in the next 23 years.
I'm gonna be like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then you're like, Dylan. And he's like, we talked about this on the podcast 20 years ago, Travis.
You brought it up. All right, great. Well, thank you, Peyton. We'll take you up on that. We've made the whole episode center around watching some Chillology. All Dylan had to do was share a screenshot from the episode, and I was like, what? I'm in, because it looks crazy. So we're going to do that. Then we'll come back after each episode, and I guess we can talk about it. I don't know. Hey, it's me here, your friendly neighborhood Trav. Do you love horror movies? Whether it's the blockbusters you can't stop rewatching, or those obscure Turkish nightmares even your weirdest friends won't touch, Split Up has you covered. Each month, hosts Jeff and Dylan dive into a few films. Some you've heard of, and some you probably haven't. They'll dissect the scares, debate the details, and sometimes bring on guests to share their own favorite frights. It's part horror deep dive, part comedy, and all kinds of creepy fun. A lot of folks say don't split up, but I say do. Check out Split Up, releasing monthly on the Polymedia Podcast Network. Don't watch alone. listen together. That was pretty fun. That was a pretty good time.
Oh my God. That was so amazing. I just remembered what the screenshot was because it was in this episode. This is the pig girl.
Yes.
The pig girl.
Dude, that's a great get up. I mean, it fits the vibe of a Goosebumps book for sure, but I think the visual helped this one out a ton.
We should also point out, so the Chillogy, which we didn't really talk about, was it's a 3-part episode where none of them are based on pre-existing Goosebumps stories. They're all original stories. And so the one we just watched was about Jessica Walters from Arrested Development. That's the name of the character.
That's the name of the character.
Yeah, not the actor. There's a lot of weird. There's a lady from The Wire is in this. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Jessica Walters is played by a reoccurring character from the show Grey's Anatomy. So like there's some people who are continuing to have pretty thriving careers in the television industry, at least, who are on the Goosebumps. So that was exciting for me anyway. Also, so Canadian.
Oh, it's very Canadian. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Well, it starts off, you got this crazy, I likened him to like a Clockwork Orange looking guy in a miniature town. And they really made him, I don't know if they were trying to shoot for like, he's supposed to look like a toy or something, but
yeah, I think
he
he's supposed to look
plasticky
like,
/ sweaty.
Because they're supposed to look like, I think they're supposed to like model people in the model town or whatever. Except it's very inconsistent how much they do and then how often they continue to apply that makeup. Like that little kid that they first show with the doll hair on his head or her head or whatever, they look pretty much just like a normal child after a certain point. And it's just like, yeah, we're not touching up the wig anymore. Like, they went from looking very like, I'm a plastic child to like, that's a kid with a mussed up wig on, as things went on. But yeah,
it's true. And I will put the links to the episodes that we watched in the show notes. They're on YouTube, so they're pretty easy to find. But after that, we get these two kids, Matthew and Todd. They're brothers. They have a yard sale and they're selling their baseball cards. And they're remarking they have a Cal Ripken rookie card. Not even Cal Ripken Jr., probably Cal Ripken Sr., but they're pretty proud of it. And then this is where we meet Jessica. She's the main protagonist. And we find out that she's a real financial tightwad. She's all the time trying to figure out how to buy, sell, and flip things. And she asks to buy the desk that they're sitting at, which is apparently not originally for sale. And their mom has to come over and be like, yeah, you can have it for $20. And she pulls out $20. And she buys the desk along with the cards in it. And that includes that rookie card, which, it's worth a lot of money. Todd spills the beans that, hey, man, it can't be worth, that much. You only got it for $1. It's like, Todd, shut the fuck up, man. I'm trying to make money on this,
So the most expensive Cal Ripken Senior card I found was $324 in money. But that's for a 2001 Topps Heritage card. So that card wasn't even made.
Didn't even exist.
No. And all the other ones are like, oh, look, it's Cal Ripken. That guy who's the father of the guy you actually care about. So that's kind of sad. So
that
we'll
is
just
kind of
move on
sad.
From there, yeah. There's a couple of father and son cards for $9, Look, Junior's on here too.
Man, that's, because you got your Griffies and your Ripkins and all that stuff. Well, we find out Jessica's one of the more insufferable kids that we have ever met in an R.L. Stine universe. Just, she's got binders. Did you have binders full of transactions when you were 13?
I had a binder filled with wildlife cards that we got in the mail.
Yeah, same.
It's like some send away thing, and I was very excited because then I had a binder filled with animal facts. So it was very exciting for me. I enjoyed that. No, I did not have binders. She had stock market charts on her wall, and I don't even think she had a bed in her bedroom. It was literally, it looked like my grandfather's study. Like, you open the door, she had a big oak desk that she sat behind, And, you know, she had her MBA on the wall, and like she's just sitting there reading the Wall Street Journal when her brother comes in. It's like, I want to buy mom a present for her birthday because she doesn't have much longer to live because of the cancer. And
I don't think that happened.
And sister's just like, all right, well, you know what my interest rates are for a loan, and you know what'll happen if you fail to pay on time.
Yeah. Break his legs, both his little legs.
Yeah.
But no, that's Dylan's halfway telling the truth. There, Sam came in to ask her for a loan, and she was difficult about it. And he was like, "Man, fuck off! I'll just get her a keychain." But Mom overhears this, and she insists that Jessica, she's not going to get her allowance, knowing that her daughter is a money-addicted tightwad. She's like, "You're not going to get your allowance this month if you don't clean the attic. I need you to go up there and sweep the attic." And this is where something strange happens, where they discover a little miniature town, the miniature town that we opened with, in their attic that they apparently didn't know was there.
It's
and I think
huge.
it'd been there a while because it was huge and dusty, but the mom also didn't recognize it, so we don't know how it got up there. I don't know if they just moved into the house, but I don't know. It was really strange.
It kind of looks like the tabletop town in Beetlejuice, if you want to remember the movie Beetlejuice, which was probably more popular than this one episode of Goosebumps. But yeah, no, it's a fun. It's not that big. It's probably half that size, but you know, it took like 2 kids to wheel it off at the end of the film that we watched.
Looked pretty cool. I would have played with that as a kid.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, but then they hear a phone ringing, or Jessica does while she's sweeping the attic. She hears a phone ringing, and she thinks it's the old cordless phone. Remember those? She thinks it's the old cordless phone. It's not. It's the phone booth inside the little town. And I don't know what she was thinking. I guess she thought she could answer a tiny phone in a town that's not plugged into anything. So she reaches down and touches it, and that zip, zap, zoop, zaps her right into the world. Now she's down there. She's a little miniature girl now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In a miniature fake town.
Yeah.
And that's where we run right into Carl. And Carl's the mayor of this here town, Dylan. This is Carlsville. And he tells her this is the land of business opportunity. And he tells her, he doesn't give her any hints other than like, there's this land of business opportunity. If you don't believe me, go walk around and find an opportunity.
For business.
There's one.
Yeah.
Walk around.
You just, maybe within the next 30 seconds, you'll probably find something. And boom.
Yep. Runs right into Carl again.
Yeah.
And this made me laugh. His opportunity, he says he's going to give her a small opportunity, which she is going to operate his lemonade stand. And we see Carl's mix, his lemonade mix, and it's Carl's Lemonade Special Blend, which
it's not.
None of that felt right to me.
No, that's not. That's concerning actually, because lemonade really should just be like
a couple ingredients.
Ingredients that you should be able to identify.
Yeah. It was a special blend. But the deal is, if she sells it, she gets 50% of the profits. Now, Carl's laid something out here. He says, he's got an assistant there, Nikki, another little girl, one you commented earlier that has wig hair, but everyone looks strange on purpose, but it's in a way that I can hardly describe.
Yeah, it's kind of retro-y, like 50s,
like 50s-esque.
Yeah.
It's really strange. But this little girl already works there, but she's not human. Okay, she's distinctly different. And so this opportunity doesn't include Nikki. It's Carl and Jessica's lemonade stand. But Carl tells her he's not going to be part of this. Carl's going to go off. He's got other opportunities. But he tells Jessica, he's like, listen, I want you to run this, but you can't raise the prices. He can't be responsible for what happens to greedy little pigs. Huh? He can't be responsible for what happens to greedy little pigs. Oink, oink, oink. And then he walks away all sweaty and rubbery or whatever he is. Dude, this lemonade, it's fucking... I don't know what lemonade would have to taste like for this to happen, but lemonade's flying off this table, dude.
Oh, it's clearly got crack cocaine in it. There's some sort of drug.
Yeah.
There's a drug in there, yeah.
That is what it is. You're right.
They show her, like, during her distribution process, she's stepping on it, which is drug parlance, for taking the original product and then watering it down. So
this literally was The Wire we watched.
Yeah. So she's making money hand over fist. And then one motherfucker comes up and he's just like, hey, this is so good. I would pay twice what you're charging for it. That's how good this lemonade is. And Jessica Walters, her eyes light up. Then she hears like a slow motion reverb of what he says over and over again in her head. And she's just like, charge twice what, and then she's just like, we're upping the price, $2 to the next schlub who comes up looking for lemonade. And then she's got this huge crowd. I don't know what it is. The thermostat's rising up. It goes from 100 degrees to 110 degrees, 150 degrees. It's a little too warm in the attic, I feel like. Honestly, that's probably what's going on. You know, it's summer. They're in the attic.
Heat rises
in a small town.
Sense,
yeah, it's going to be super hot in this town. But everyone's they're clamoring for it. And then she's down to one last glass of lemonade. And she's like, I will sell this to the highest bidder. And people are just like, $5, $20. And she's like, I've got 20. And she's just boom, 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 like $50, $100, $6 million. And then Dum-Dum Nikki knocks over a pitcher of lemonade and spills it. And then everyone's just like,
she had it hidden because she was trying to work up that last cup. Yeah. With that, she had watered down like twice.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Oh, real high grade stuff. Real high grade lemonade because it comes out of a packet. So, like Kool-Aid.
It's Carl's.
Yeah, it's Carl's lemonade. So the crowd turns on her instantly. They do. They're mad. I mean, madder than a crowd should be at a little girl selling lemonade, if I'm being honest. I mean, nobody lost any money. They just learned that there was more lemonade that she knocked over. They didn't have to kill her. They could have just been like, oh, you're kind of untrustworthy. Yeah. I'm going to move on. Yeah. But no, they wanted to kill her. Carl, he's been around the corner the whole time. He watches this happen, all right? He tells the mob, he says, get the pig. And she has to run. Now she's got a mob. It's like one of the Simpsons episodes. There's a flaming mob chasing her, and she hides behind a trash can. The mob runs past her because they're not a great mob. I'll say that. Their head's not on a swivel. She dodges them, and then Carl shows up and lets her see herself in the mirror. And my God, dude, this practical suit that they have for her to look like a pig is great. It is perfectly unsettling. It reminds me of, what's the name of that movie where that guy, it's based on a true story. This is going to sound disparaging, but the guy has a face shaped like a pelvis. It's like an elephant man or something. Oh, yeah, Elephant Man. Oh, you forgot to mention she kind of looks like turns into a pig.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She looks like a pig, but it's a horrifying look. Yeah. It's a good getup.
No, it's good.
It's a really good getup.
Because she looks like a monster. Like, it doesn't look like a fun pig. Like, she looks like, a pig.
Yeah, she kind of looks like a Republican senator. A little bit.
I don't even know what those are up here. So.
Yeah, so she's running from the mob now that she's a big squealing pig, and she throws the cash box in the air. She gives up the money. The people chase the money. She runs into the phone booth, dials 911. The worst thing you want to hear when you dial 911 is for 911 to fire back. This number is no longer in service. Like, oh, that's what happened to it. She calls home instead. Gets her brother, just so happens to be walking upstairs, hears the cordless phone ringing. He answers immediately, sucks her back in to the real world, and she does not look like a pig. So, Dylan, in my opinion, horror's over. Yeah. We got out of this. We're in good shape. All we got to do now is throw this town away.
Well, we need to make sure that she's learned her lesson about not being a pig, about the profits and all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. She wants to throw it away, has her brother help her carry it down. He's like, no, this is really cool. Why are you throwing it away? And she's like, it's evil. He's like, no, this sucks. I'll take it. And she's like, all right, you can have it, but you have to sell it back to me. Because you need money, right? Sell it back to me. I'll buy it for $50. And he's like, oh, sweet. $50. Nice. And he runs back inside, and she leaves it in the dumpster.
She learned her lesson. She gave her brother $50.
She did. She gave her brother $50, and she's still wily and greedy. I don't really trust her, but hey, at least we got that evil house out of the way, and now no other kids will suffer.
I don't know why you said that as if there's not. That the two other kids from the beginning of the episode, they come back. Travis, did you forget?
No, I was setting you up. I thought
right. Travis, you fucking dumb. No. The two kids from the beginning of the episode who get swindled out of the Carl Ripken Sr. card, they're riding along and they see this cool-ass model town and they're just like, sweet, let's take this home. What's the worst that could happen? Then there's a zoom in on Carl, and Carl's just like, all right, No more Mr. Nice Guy. These kids is gonna die. +2.
I didn't find you very nice the first time, Carl.
No, he turned that random girl into a pig for no reason. It's not like it's his job to teach children moral lessons. You know, it's not Santa Claus, who the world has decided apparently can do that. But, like, he's just Carl, and who lives in a small model town that someone forgot in the attic for a reason when they moved out. Let's be honest. Like, no one forgets the model town in the attic. That was something that was just like, oops, we forgot to bring that thing that I've been trying to get rid of for years. The model town with the small evil man in it. Which basically actually is also like Beetlejuice, now that I think about it, because that's what happened. Beetlejuice was hanging out in that little model town, ruining people's lives left and right, trying to marry little girls and turn into snakes and things. Just all kinds of upsettingness.
Rambunctious. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. Anyway, that was episode part 1. That was part 1.
Part 1. Let's watch part 2 real quick. How about it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Do you like video games, movies, vinyl records, imbibing a drink or two? I'm Pam, and together with my friend Michelle, we host the Point and Drink Adventure podcast. Join us for discussions about wine and cocktail history, the movies we've been watching, and the games we've been playing. Check out Point and Drink Adventure on YouTube for the video podcast, or look us up on the podcast app of your choice. Cheers!
Well, that was a good way to learn baseball.
Yeah, it was very accurate. Yeah, I learned that the Tigers definitely need to get their farm team out of wherever that was, because those kids do not play good baseball. And we didn't see all of them play, but like I figured the fact that we didn't even see the pitching happen, not a good indication of the abilities of the Tigers.
This one did feel... It feels like they blew a lot of budget on the first one, and then this one was like, let's just do the best we can with what we got.
Well, they also still had to plan for the third episode, because it's a 3-parter, and they set up the third part already in this one, so maybe they don't want to blow their wad. So what we got is the brothers from the beginning and end of the first episode, Matthew and other Matthew.
Todd.
Yeah, Matthew and Todd. Matthew is he plays for one of the most well-funded little league teams I've ever seen. Like, their uniforms are just like basically child-sized MLB uniforms.
Yeah, they look real good. Sharp.
Yeah. Like, I would have loved to have more than the t-shirt with like the iron-on numbers. We played we had to pick up pre-made names when I was a kid, and they only had green left as a color. Not too different from this green that's on the screen, actually, right now, the Goosebumps green. But the only name left was the Blue Jays. So we were, our uniform colors were disgusting lime green, and all of our hats had a big old BJ on it, which thankfully we're too young to really make anything of that. But now as an adult being like, oh, boy.
The old green BJs, huh?
Yeah, the green BJs. Oh. So anyway, Matthew's not so good at baseball. He has to play. Apparently, one of the coaches during the game is just like, if you don't I'm assuming it's like all of your players have to play, and I noticed that kid didn't play. I think is what happened, something like that.
Yeah,
and the
they
other coach is like,
at least.
But if we play, we'll lose. If we put him out there, which is awful. Yeah. So Matthew goes out there.
His coach was a real jerk.
Yeah. Matthew goes up, though, and he does whiff it, like just 3 in a row.
His coach was even like, hey, man, go up there, close your eyes, maybe you'll get lucky. That's how little faith I have in you. I would rather put my faith in the universe
blind luck
than you.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised that the coach didn't tell him to lean into it, because that just seems like the only way that kid was going to get onto base. And they already had runners on like first and second, I feel like. So
that's true. That's true.
Matthew should have just taken one for the team, leaned into the ball a little bit, just taking a little pop off the head, you know? Then they could have put in a runner for him too, and then Matthew's out of the game completely. Boom.
Boom.
But no, instead he strikes out 1, 2, 3, and goes down crying.
Yeah. And then everyone's sad. His team, his family, his dad's let down. The coach is let down. The coach on the other team even looked a little bit sad. Matthew gets home. He won't eat. He's just not feeling it, dude. He's lost the game. They should have never even played him, he thinks. Then he gets into bed and he still has his uniform on, which if I had a big turn, if baseball had betrayed me the way that it had Matthew, I might have burnt my uniform in the yard, but he keeps it on, hops into bed with the ball and glove. You could tell he still has a love for the game. And his dad, who comes up to talk to him, to encourage his son, like, listen, son, don't end it now, all right? You got a lot to live for. Because look, hey, sure, you like baseball, but guess what? You suck at baseball. But there's a lot of other stuff you're good at, like...
Yeah, there's no examples. He's just like, you know...
A little tired right now, son, but maybe tomorrow you and I will get together, write down the 2 or 3 other things we think you might be good at. How about that?
You
That sound good?
And you're only 13. You've got time to develop something, like a weird hobby, it makes you stand out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he's just sitting on the bed tossing his ball to himself, as one does. And then the ball gets sucked in to the little toy town that he has in his room that he stole out of the trash can from the last episode. And he treats it as if like it was a bad throw, but it's very clearly this ball is sucked in across the room.
Yeah, he's mildly
size.
peeved by what has happened, as if this has happened to him several times already, where it's like, son of a bitch, I gotta go get my ball off the table again. Oh, I hope it didn't roll under a dumpster or something in the micro town. It's a very weird reaction.
It's a strange reaction, but he does see the ball rolling, and he touches it, and boom, now he's sucked into a little tiny baseball field in his bedroom that has a sign in the field that reads, Carlsville Field, it's a whole new ball game. And then we see Carl again, and Carl's, in the last episode, we got a lot of different people from the town. We got to see the butcher guy and all the little crazy people that lived there. But here, it's Carl all day, dude. Carl is everything. He's the coach. He's the announcer. He's the peanut vendor. He's the
Carl
third
feels
base coach, the ump.
very much like that kind of character that was very popular in children's entertainment in the 90s that would have been played by like Jim Carrey, or it's like the genie from Aladdin, or like that fellow with the red pajamas, Freakazoid or whatever. It's like that kind of zany, wacky, like does a lot of different voices and accents and wackiness, and that
A lot of fast cuts too. I
Yeah.
felt like it was about to lead into like a no smoking commercial. Like it kind of had that 90s vibe. Like this is your brain on Carl.
And there's just so many like sight gags with Carl, like while he's like eating things constantly as the announcer. And at one
Quite
point,
entertaining.
I did at one point when the Matthew's caught between the catcher and third, and he's like bouncing between the two. He says, "Oh, he's caught in quite a pickle," which is a funny play on the word that he's in distress. Also, technically playing pickle, because he's getting. But then he's just like, "Which reminds me," and then he grabs a pickle and he starts eating the pickle. Also, so it's
fun games.
a triple wordplay threat there with Carl this episode.
It's pretty good. Now we've established Matthew bad at baseball, right? Shouldn't he be out there? His coach don't even like him. Whatever. But Carl here, as a coach, comes up to Matthew and he's like, "Hey man, I want you on my team. I want you starting for my team, the Carlsville Crunchers." And he's like, "Well, team? What team? There's nobody else out here. It's just me and you. There's no crowd." Then you can kind of like hear a crowd, like you can imagine a crowd. You can hear people in the stands, but no one shows up. And he's like, "All right, so what are we doing?" And then he's like, get up to the plate. Oh, actually, before that, Carl sings the national anthem as Carl, and the national anthem is just Carlsville, Carlsville, Carlsville. It's very funny to me.
Also, Carl is dressed kind of like a very low-key Elvis impersonator. With the hair and like a rhinestone jacket, but he's not full out, but just enough so that you know who he is. He's
right.
He's a little bit of Elvis.
Carlvis. He's something. But he does mention this. This is a key point. He says the object of the game is to get home. So we already knew that, but this plays an extra important, oddly poetic role.
It's more wordplay.
Carlsville.
Matthew's real fucking stupid, by the way. I feel like I would have figured it out in his shoes, but he's still like throughout the whole goddamn baseball game is just like, I don't want want to do this anymore. It's stupid. It's like, obviously, dipshit, you need to get through this. But he's acting like it's a real baseball game or something for the whole thing, instead of like just his attitude about it's like, man, I don't want to be here. It's like, okay, well, that's how I acted when I played baseball. You should be acting like you're terrified or whatever, but he's acting like I did, which is to play in the dirt until someone yelled at me to look up, or that I should be at bat. I found a lot of bugs, though.
Oh yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, there's a lot of grasshoppers out there. They're super cool, and then you could pet them, and then they would be like, "You're a grasshopper," and then you could call it names, and then the baseball would come and it ruined everything.
Stupid baseball getting in the way of all the grasshopper loving. But yeah, he gets up to the plate. Now we don't have a pitcher. We have a pitching machine that is way too grandiose. It's like the giant pod that
amazing graphical effect
comes up out of the. Yeah, I guess it looks like something that would be in Stargate, but it is ultimately just a big pitching machine, almost like one you would see in American Gladiators.
What money they saved on extras, they spent on CGI in this one. And with this,
it didn't look bad for CGI.
The tightrope over the lava is more what I was thinking.
That looked rough.
Yeah,
that looked rough.
That looked like fucking Ocarina of Time level.
It did
graphics. Yeah.
It did. So 2 pitches go by Matthew. He just watches. He doesn't even swing. The third one, they're really trying here. The ball actually stops and hovers above the plate to give Matthew time to swing and hit it. And he does. Pretty good hit.
Mm-hmm.
Runs to first base. This is kind of gives you that like unsettling nightmare feel. Like it's not scary, but it is like something you can relate to when you're sort of in the subliminal conscious. With first base, as he's running toward it, keeps getting further away, and he can't get to it. It's like he's chasing it, and he can't get it, and he can't get it, and it hovers up off the ground, and he can't reach it. It's like, yeah, this would be a real nightmare I would have had at like 9 years old.
Oh, yeah, and the constant, like, the moving but not moving things. Yeah.
But he does trick it. He like turns around and pretends like he doesn't chase it anymore, and the bag gets closer, and he turns around and he dives on it. So he's safe at first. He got a base hit out of that. Nobody in the park, and he only managed to get a base hit. But now that he's on base, he's safe from whatever hijinks Carl has. At least that's what he thinks.
In this story, I feel like Matthew is the problem. Like, there's so many times where we go through this where it's like, this is just kind of like a cool game of, like, baseball. Like, just kind of like a baseball-themed adventure game or whatever, like, where it's just like, yeah, it seems like things are vaguely dangerous, but I don't know. At this point, this story, even more than the other one, felt like, I'm trying to teach you something, kid. Come on. Like, more than, like, I'm trying to kill you or whatever.
It's weird. It's like Carl has a sinister vibe, but he's trying to teach either a moral lesson, which he's doing it in a strange way, obviously.
Yeah.
He's either trying to teach a moral lesson, or he's trying to, like, help you approach this game that you suck at from a different point of view so that you're better at it. It's like, at the end of the day, everybody should be thanking Carl, you know? Sure, he traumatized you, but you learned something.
Matthew starts getting a pretty big lead off of first, which I find odd because, I mean, he's playing baseball older than I was, but we did not steal bases when I was playing baseball as a child. But again, I was not playing baseball as a teenager. So, you know, because I feel like he's like 12 or 13. I was definitely, I'd hung up my cleats by then. But he's leading off of first when the pitching machine turns around on him. And then starts just launching balls, and she's like, ah! But then 2 things come up out of the ground and shackle his feet into place, and then a bunch of pop-ups come up that look like him at his worst, just terrified and just like a little chicken shit. And then and then they just start getting taken out one by one by the pitching machine. It's just like knocking them over, popping heads off the cutouts. And Matthew's just, I can't get the fuck out of here. Ah! He finally realized, he loosens the straps, pulls his feet out of the shoes, takes the shoes with him for continuity reasons, books it out of there, takes the time to put the shoes on real quick, which again, for continuity reasons, and he's on second. So he's safe again. And Carl is just like, yeah, good job. You still got to get home, obviously. And the machine disappears. The pitching machine disappears. But then Matthew won't move because he's like, I'm safe here. You can't make me move because this is the only place that I'm safe. And Carl's just like, fuck you. And makes the base disappear out from under him. And Matthew's just like, ah! And now he's got to get to third, which is how baseball works.
Yeah, he tells him he's got to get home, which is wild because, like, you and I were talking about this. He could. You don't have to follow the base path. Like, there was nothing chasing him from second.
No.
He just knew he had to get to third.
Yeah, he is getting worse. If Carl's whole thing is to make him be braver or whatever, or more assertive, he's getting worse as the plot goes along, where it's just like, I don't even want to move anymore. And Carl's like, oh, shit. But so Matthew, fine, I'll get to third. And he starts going towards third, and Carl's just like, well, let's make this harder. And so the ground drops away, and a very unconvincing rock bridge across a pool of very unconvincing lava.
This is the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
section.
it's not good. But Matthew tight ropes it across instead of going 5 feet to either side and just running alongside the moat of lava. Gets to third base, and the ground seals back up behind him. And Matthew's still whining, and it's driving me crazy because he's even more like, I don't want to go. Where. And Carl's just like, bah, you should go home. You got to get home. To get home, to go home. You should go home. And
yeah, it's like 90 feet. You can steal it. You know,
yeah.
Do you want to? He does that cool thing where he's like, do you want to do a or like a squeeze?
Squeeze play.
And like smashes his fists together, or a sacrifice and does like the finger across the throat thing. And I was like, damn, that's cool.
Yeah. But Matthew's just like, there's not even any other players here. And Carl's just like, you want players? And then he summons 2 monsters to play baseball. And it's just like, Matthew, this is, I hate to say he brought this on himself, but this little shit, man. Like, fucking, why did you want other players? Like, just go home. Ugh. So Bebop and Rocksteady are wearing baseball uniforms.
Yeah, they have the same, I would say, level of cool practical effects as the Hog girl did. These look like Jim Henson had a last hoorah right here, and they seem pretty good to me. And they're pretty ugly. And they play, okay, so they catch Matthew in a rundown. He makes for home. He tries to slide. Now we got these 2 monsters catching him in this rundown. A pickle, if you will. And it goes on, honestly, a little too long. They go back and forth with this ball for a good solid, 2 minutes. They're just they're trying to get to that 20-minute runtime. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, Carl's had enough. So the baseball just stops dead in the air, grows teeth, and snarls at Matthew, and just starts beating the shit out of him, trying to get him to go home.
Yeah, this is where it gets so ludicrous to me, where it's just like, Carl is just like, listen, I'm trying to teach moral lessons to children. I have so many children to get to in so little time. Go fucking home. The fact that, like, why is the ball even at this point being introduced? Because, like, there's already 2 giant monsters that could rip Matthew limb from limb, but it's the tiny white baseball with teeth that finally makes him like, ah! And
I loved the little baseball with teeth. I want that as like a desk prop. I need that. Paperweight.
It is adorable.
So cool.
But it's so dumb. Also, it's just like, why does he need this? I feel like, I don't know if Matthew learned his lesson to be braver or whatever the point of this was, but he does make it home. He does jump to home base with a ball going at him. And then once he slides into home, I think it does cut to him almost like landing on his bed, or he's like in bed, like,
yeah.
Oh, and he's back home, which he's just run home the whole time. I feel like if he hadn't been back sassing Carl the whole time, he would have gotten home a lot sooner. But
oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But then it's not over yet, you know, as these things go. We know we got a trilogy on our hands. So Matthew falls asleep on his bed, and then the next morning, he's still in his baseball uniform, I think. Next morning, Jessica has come over to visit. His mom lets her in. I mean, God, poor Matthew. Hopefully he's not sporting any morning Louisville Sluggers, but he pops up out of bed, and she's like, hey, I just wanted to bring these cards back. I feel like I kind of swindled you, and, you know, I learned my lesson. But when she walks in, she sees the mini town in his room, and she's like, no, how the hell did you get this? And he can tell by the way she's talking about it. He's like, yeah, you got sucked in too? Fucking sucks. And they both decide, we're going to have to destroy this thing. Let's go destroy it. He's like, my dad's got some tools and like a hammer out in the garage. We can go get those and come back and beat the shit out of it. And she's like, oh, that's one of the best ideas I've ever heard anybody say. Yeah, let me go. I'll go with you. That'd be great. So it seems like we're finally going to get this thing 6 feet under the ground where it belongs, Dylan. It's not going to tackle any more kids. Carl's out of kids. That was me setting you up again for the twist.
Setting me up for what?
For that, to the last bit.
Oh, yeah. So the little brother, Todrick, that little shit, he gets a sweepstakes mailer in the mail, hence mailer. Also, as a kid, I was always winning sweepstakes because I was opening every single one of those goddamn sweepstakes things and just scratching things and being like, Mom, we won. And she's like, throw that away. But Ma, and she's like, fine, send it in. I don't give a shit. So we never won. No matter how many times it said it won and how many times it's like, hey, this is what it would look like if you won, is the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever seen.
God, I know.
Anyway, Todd gets one of those, and he's like, he doesn't know yet, and he's just like, oh my God, I'm a winner from the Carl's sweepstakes. And it's just like, return it to Carlsville. And he's just like, what the fuck's Carlsville? Oh, it's that thing that my brother and I got out of the garbage can. And it gives the sweepstakes to the town, and it gets tiny. And Carl's just like, I'm going to kill these children. And
Here's the thing, though. We've set this up. Todd is going to be in the town. And then the Jessica and Matthew are going to come back with a hammer and beat the hell out of it with Todd in it. That's what we got to look forward to here in the third episode, which we're going to start watching.
I never even think about that. What if there is a scene with a terrible CGI hammer coming down and Todd's just like, running down the streets of this town as like a hammer's coming down?
Hey there, fellow gamers and story lovers. Trav here once again, inviting you to join me and my co-host, Caleb J. Ross, on a podcast adventure like no other, Tales of the Lesser Medium. We take video game stories, the ones that are often nonsensical, goofy, or downright bizarre, and retell them the way they should be told, as actual stories. But don't worry, we keep things lighthearted with plenty of humor, quips, and even some skits along the way. Ever wonder where Barry keeps running off to in Resident Evil? Why Lara Croft's got a grudge against every animal she meets? Or what Gordon Freeman might sound like if he ever spoke? We ask the big, important questions, and then we have a blast answering them. We've covered some legendary franchises, from Halo and Gears of War to classics like Earthbound and Contra. Whether you're a diehard fan of these games or hearing about their stories for the first time, we promise you'll laugh, maybe learn, and definitely never look at these games the same way again. And here's the best part. There's already a treasure trove of episodes waiting for you to dive into while we cook up the next season. So don't miss out. Go subscribe now and join us on Tales of the Lesser Medium, where the stories are strange, the humor is plentiful, and the medium is, well, lesser.
Okay. I'm just going to say this. I feel like if Carl does come back to murder those kids, he's justified.
Well,
I feel like their reaction was just way out of proportion to what happened to the three of them.
We could discuss it. I just feel like they
Oh, so you're a child apologist all of a sudden.
I would have been on your side, but they fumbled at the end. These dumb kids were a little too cocky. They thought they got rid of the Carl. They didn't. Now it's Carl's turn, baby. That's what I'm saying. But I don't feel like he's justified. I think he's kind of a tyrant. But let's talk about it. You know, where we left off last time.
All right. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck a duck. Hold on. I can't hear you. I don't have the earbuds in. Give me a second, buddy. Hold on. I'm going to keep talking so that you're aware of this. Okay, I can hear you now.
Where we left off last time, we got Todd. He sucked into the town, and then his brother and Jessica are going to come back.
Because he won a sweepstakes.
Yeah, because he won a sweepstakes. They're going to come back.
He won a sweepstakes. That's important.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed that in the last little interlude. But his brother and his brother's friend Jessica are going to come over here and beat the hell out of the town with a hammer with him in it. That's no good. But guess what? They're smart. They see the mail on the floor. They're like, Todd must have dropped the mail. It's got his name on it. Which means, he's in the town. We better not bust up the town because my brother's in there. We're going to have to go into the town and get him because Todd's too fucking stupid to figure this out on his own.
I mean, he willingly went into the town.
He did.
It seemed like. Yeah, basically. Although I do think it is funny. We did get confirmation that if they had gone to town, with hammers on the town, that would have very, very well would have wrecked Todd's day.
Yeah, he would have died. He would have been a dead.
Yeah, 100%.
Another dead boy to add to R.L. Stein's list.
I'm going to put this out there now because this episode had a lot of padding.
This should have been 8 minutes.
More than the other two parts of the story. This felt very much like, and part of it is they didn't do enough with like the opening part where they have Todd. So Todd he shows up in town. He's like, "What the fuck's this weird town? What's my sweepstakes prize?" And then they throw him a parade. Like all these people show up and throw him a parade, and there's a marching band, and like the Miss Carlsville is there, and Carl's there, and everyone's just like, "Oh, let's go on a parade through the town," and like. I felt like that's where they should have been stretched it out, is having Todd experience how weird this town is for a while and build that up. But instead, it's just like, everything's great. And then very quickly, it's like, okay, now we're going to fucking murder you or something.
I do like a lot of the plans that Jessica and Matthew had for getting him out of the town. Jessica was like, what if we just turned the town upside down and shook it? Would he fall out? And Matthew was like, that's stupid.
He would splat like a tomato. That's exactly what he said.
And then they're thinking about ways to get in. They're like, how'd you get in here? And she's like, I answered a phone. And then she touches the phone booth. Nothing happens. He's like, I dropped the baseball in here. So I can't even, there's not a baseball in there for me to touch. I can't get in there. Yeah. So they don't really know what they're doing. But meanwhile, Todd's just in there. They're making him give speeches. He's hanging out with Miss Carlsville. The president of Carlco Enterprises comes by and he's like, all right, I'm going to lead you to your prize. Come on, follow me through this metal door that looks ominous, and then down these dark steps, and then into this dungeon where there's a lab, and boom. Now we see, honestly, these plastic people down here reminded me of, I guess it was Duracell. Maybe there was a battery company that had these plastic people that were kind of creepy, very 90s, but that's exactly what they reminded me of.
Yeah, they looked. These were like the plastic people that ended up in like the dollar store or whatever. The plastic people that are called like Supraman and Batman, and they're just knockoffs of like Batman and Superman, and like they're kind of melty and warped, and they're nowhere near as good looking as Mrs. Carlsville and Carl himself, who look basically like normal people for the most part.
Yeah.
Until someone remembers that Carl's supposed to look plasticky, and they put some plastic makeup on him for a couple of shots, and then he's back to just looking like himself again.
I thought the creep factor was pretty good with those folks.
Yeah.
They had that like uncanny look to them.
Which is also good too, considering what they're planning to do to Todd.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like, so, because like you have kind of like best case scenario and worst case scenario for what might happen to Todd.
Yeah, they come out, they start taking his measurements. They have like an arm pressure or a blood pressure cuff or something. I don't know what they're doing with that. And they're like, he's like, why are you doing that for? And they're like, well, your prize is to become a citizen of Carlsville. And we're going to use this, rips the sheet down, Plasto Blaster to do it, which is a giant, shiny space age gun thing that can apparently transform anything into a plastic figure, and so that's Carl's.
It looks like a 50s death ray.
It looks cool.
Thing.
Actually, I kind of like it. It would have been cool if it was just still the pitching machine, but it was. It wasn't. It was something else. So Jessica has the wise idea, because one of the reasons that they figured out that Todd was in the town was because there's a little population counter above Carlsville, the little toy, and it usually sits at 100. They look and it's 101. So like, oh, Todd's in there. So after they've exhausted all these other plans, Jessica walks over and she flicks it, makes it go to 102, and then boom, she gets sucked in. And then Matthew's like, oh, well, shit, okay. So he does the same thing, and then bam, now Matthew and Jessica are in the town. And I got to tell you, Dylan, they don't look like they're in a big hurry to find Todd once they get there. They're walking around picking up confetti and just talking.
Oh, my God. There's so many. There was one moment in particular where they find a doorway, and Matthew's like, let's go in here. And Jessica's like, why? And the audience is like, yeah, why? And then Matthew like steps away from the doorway and it's just like, he says something like, it's so weird here or whatever. And then she's like, yeah. And he's like, let's go. and then goes back to going into the doorway again. It's like, what the fuck was the point of that? It was to kill 30 seconds is what it was for. But it was so pointless. It was such a pointless, like, it's so weird here. All right, let's go back into the doorway that I found that goes into nowhere. But
apparently it goes into the
there's
right
just
place.
so many scenes with those two that are just like, wasting time.
The whole thing when they start out and they just run up and pick up confetti and they're like, oh, confetti. Like it's a clue. It's very funny to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Dylan's saying, we get a lot of this padded back and forth where Todd is he's being strapped to a gurney, which is kind of a freaky part of the episode. The plastic figures are staring down at him, and even Mrs. Carlsville, who's very human compared to the rest of them, is like, don't move, whatever. And they strap him in. And,
well, yeah, she turns mean on him. She's like, you little brat.
Yeah, and they aim the Plasto Blaster at him, and then we get a little shot back to Matthew and Jessica just walking around, talking. And then back to Todd on the gurney while Carl is teasing him. And then back to Matthew and Jessica doing nothing. Then back to Todd. And back to Matthew and Jessica. But there is one funny part where they Carl is by far my favorite in all of these. But Carl...
Yeah, and he's deliberately wasting our time at this point, and you can tell, like, there's so many moments where he's just, like, running to a button or whatever. It's just like, I'm going to press this button, and just, like, it's obviously like, okay, this is another 30 seconds as he's bouncing around. And so there's a moment where the machinery is all, like, about to power up, and then he stops everything and runs over to Todd again.
Yeah, and he's like, did I tell you this won't hurt? And Todd's like, no. Like, because it does. I love that. That both got a laugh out of us. He also says that Todd's like, why do you want to turn me into plastic? And Carl's like, it's a hobby. My hobby is to get kids under my power. It passes the time. Like, no real reason. I just, just a thing I do.
I'm just an asshole.
Yeah. But meanwhile, magically, somehow, that little unassuming dark tunnel that the kids popped into led to a control room where there's a lot of plasticky looking control things and wires.
And they just start pulling wires, and the Adobe After Effects electric sparks come off of everything. And it powers down the Plasto Blaster, and all the kids are together again. And it seems all the electricity starts, like, it startles the other plastic people. And they're like, not electricity. Don't kill us. Which is fair, because they're not going to kill Todd. They're just going to make him plastic. So I feel a lethal force is a little... It's overkill. It's overkill. I'm just saying it's overkill. And I hate the children more than I hate the plastic people.
Honestly,
so
I like Carl quite a bit. But you're right.
Carl's okay. Mrs. Carlville, she's pretty hot, so she's pretty cool.
I think I lean on the moral side of, like, saving the children, but it was close. There was a part of me that was like, well, like, why don't we just keep going?
Oh, I crossed the line that they should die.
Yeah.
Well into when they're looking at ticker tape and being like, I think it's pointing this way, and we should follow the ticker tape trail. Let's go. So the kids are trying to get out through every way that they know to get out. So first they run to the phone to try and, like, get out by making a phone call the same way that Jessica Walters did. But then Carlsville's just like, you didn't say the magic word. Sorry, I just watched Jurassic Park with Pam a couple weeks ago.
Me too.
And then he destroys the phone or something. I don't know who gives a fuck.
He just chases them away from it. He's like, nope.
Yeah. Nah. Then they run to the baseball field to get home to home base, and he's waiting for them there, and it's just like, wah! And the plastic people are, like, chasing them across the baseball field. He's like, there's nowhere for you to run. You guys are all fucked. I'm gonna fucking kill you all. But the whole time they hear a vacuum sound because...
Meanwhile, back at the two-story ranch-style home that Matthew lives in.
These parents, I was a little concerned about Matthew and Todd's parents, because they don't seem like the sharpest tacks in the drawer, but...
Yeah, Matthew's mom running in vacuuming. She's got the hose out all willy-nilly, and she's going at the floor.
She starts vacuuming their model town.
Yeah, well, Dad comes in, he's like, hey, where are the kids? And she's like, what? I can't hear you. He's like, where are the kids? And she's like, I don't know what you're saying, but he has her distracted. So while she's responding to him, she's holding the vacuum cleaner hose over the town, starts sucking shit up in and out of the town. Just debris mostly, maybe a couple plastic people, but enough to like stop the mob for the kids to be like...
Most of the ticker tape.
Yeah, and the kids are like, oh shit, that's your mom doing that. And they're like, one of the kids is like, she doesn't mean to. It's like, how do you know she doesn't? You can't see her. You can just see we could see the hose coming down out of the sky, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, and you could hear the vacuuming sounds during most of Carl's final maniacal speech as well. And it was funny because he's like, what is that annoying sound? And it's like, thanks, Carl. But so the kids get sucked up, and then once they get sucked up, they like turn big again. And the parents, holy shit, are the stupidest people on the planet, because like 3 full-grown children just shit out of the air, just boom, boom, boom. And they're like, where do these kids come from? And they knock over the table and there's shit everywhere. And the kids are like, we'll clean it up. Get the fuck out of here.
I did like that the dad maintained his anger from looking for the kids to when the kids showed up. He went from like, where are the kids? To like,
he's like, where have you been?
Where have y'all been? Like, he's still bad. Like, y'all probably in for an ass whooping for something you don't even know about yet. Dad seems angry.
Oh, yeah. And then they push them out, and the mom's just like, well, we broke your new town. And they're like, we outgrew it, and like, get the fuck out of here. And so later it cuts to them like burning the whole town house by house. This is horrifying to me. So these kids, I get it. Carl tried to turn them into plastic people.
Forever.
That's bad. Quote unquote. Does that give them the right to burn the entire town down, house by house? All these plastic people being melted alive and murdered by these children who've basically just enacted genocide. Those were probably once also real children at some point who were turned against their will into plastic people. And these 3 kids just play God and murder them all. And there's this extremely long point where they're just like, do you think this is Carl? I think this might be Carl. I think it's Carl's clothes. What about this? That's Carl's head in there. Is that Carl? I don't know if we got Carl. I hope we got Carl. I was like, shut the fuck up and throw it in the fire. I might have been losing my patience towards the end of this episode. So they throw the Carl into the fire, and I guess it's just plastic clothes or something, because then Carl comes tumbling out of the vacuum cleaner behind them, and he has a close-up maniacal laughter shot. Does he say anything again? I can't remember. He's just like,
I think he just laughs.
Yeah, but clearly Carl is gonna be back for more. And honestly, they fucking burned everything he knows and loves, including all the people he knew, I'm assuming, horribly, and thought they were doing the same thing to him. He's entirely justified to kill them all at this point.
He might now. Yeah, he might now. I could see him teaming up with like Slappy and Mr. Wood.
100%. So I'm on Carl's side by the end of this, just because I feel like the kids were disproportionate in their response to Carl and his family. Like,
what would you have done? What would you have just taken it outside?
I would have just kept them in the attic. I mean, shit, man. Like, it seems pretty easy not to get sucked into it. So I would have just kept it and then had my own tiny town. I love tiny shit, though. Like, I've got all my Warhammer stuff. I love little model things. So,
dude, I just know it's coming. If I ever get disposable income again, I can see myself having just a little train town at Christmas around my house. Yeah. I know it's coming. I can feel it.
Right? You would have kept it, too. 100%. You're just like,
oh, yeah.
Like, he's only a little bit evil. He's not that evil. We'll keep him upstairs.
You're right. The first 2 kids, he tried to teach a positive lesson. I don't know what it was about Todd that he wanted to keep. But anyway. So, question. How do you think this would have done as a book? I feel like it's better left as a show, this particular story.
We talked about it while it was going on. I feel like this would have been better as like a longer 2-parter or something rather than a 3-parter. Like, the last part was so patty. It was just... Like, I feel like it would have worked better if all 3 kids got sucked in simultaneously and it was just like a 90-minute episode, and like they eventually end up meeting together like, oh shit, we need to get to Todd. And that makes more sense than them like just randomly touching things in the fucking town.
That was kind of fun.
But yeah, I feel like the last part was the most padded and was kind of hard to get through in some degrees. And Carl's a real weird character. Like, it felt...
Yeah, he is.
It was... It's odd. It's a very weird Goosebumps set of story. Like, it still feels very Goosebumps, but also like, Jesus, this feels like something else too at the same time.
I don't know that Carl would have came across well in writing.
No,
I think you had to see him to believe it.
Yeah. A lot of that was the actor like bringing a little something extra to that and selling it.
Yeah, you got it right with Beetlejuice, Drop Dead Freddy. He has that vibe, and he's pretty good on screen. Actually, I thought he was quite fun to...
Yeah. Definitely the best parts of the episodes.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
The children were awful. I hated all of them.
When the girl turned into the pig, I thought that was wonderful.
Oh, yeah, the pig costuming. Yeah, that's so long ago. It felt so long ago, but yeah. And the baseball. Baseball was fun, too.
Oh, I like the baseball, too.
Yeah.
Well, some trivia to go out on here. Oh, by the way, thank you, Peyton, for that recommendation.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a lot of fun. This 3-part miniseries is obviously not based on any book or any short story. Chillogy was the only story not associated with either R.L. Stine's Goosebumps books or short stories. Also, the cover art for there's apparently a 2005 DVD release of this if you're a big collector, big goosehead out there. The cover for that book was actually the Goosebumps book cover for Monster Blood, the third book, and the 2007 DVD used the cover to the Goosebumps book Monster Blood 3. So they borrowed a lot of the Monster Blood covers for the DVD covers, which would have been extremely misleading if you were a big reader of the book and you saw these and you're like, oh, it must be a different version of the Monster Blood. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's nothing like that. Like the Monster Blood book cover with the ooze coming down the steps has no connection thematically at all with what happens in the
new
first.
Art. And if you can't use new art, use Horrorland or something. Like, Jesus, why Monster Blood?
Doesn't make any sense. Guess because it's recognizable. And then it says, according to the sweepstakes letter that Todd receives from Carlsville, the Erickson family, which is Matthew and Todd, live in Tyndallville, USA on 7 Morningwood Court. You gotta know that. That's good trivia. They live in a made-up place. We all knew that.
In Canada.
Canada. But that does it, man.
Huh?
That does it. It felt good to hop back on here and talk some bumps. And I got to watch a episode that doesn't have an associated book. I don't know that I would have ever watched this without some prodding from the listeners. So feel free to send your emails. See what you can get us into.
No, that was a lot of fun because since we usually do tie it into the season of Goosebumps books, we probably wouldn't have been able to do this any other way. Because we're so rigid with what we'll talk about on here. It's not like we talked about Stein Tinglers, which isn't even Goosebumps related.
It's true. Well, we have another round of Stein Tinglers.
It's already out, actually.
Coming. Yeah, we'll get to that. Probably the next thing we do here in a couple weeks, and then we'll get started on that next season, man. We'll crank those
there's
out.
like 2 more movies, too. There's at least 1 more movie.
Yeah, I got to get caught up on those as well. But yeah, we will.
And there's the new TV series. There's so much. And he's supposed to be like writing more fucking Goosebumps books. Fucking stop! Sorry, that started sounding angry more than like excited. Like,
give us time to catch up.
I'm so tired. Well, I mean, he did give us like 30 years.
Yeah, he's prolific. His ghostwriter's not bad either. But anyway, I guess until the next time, thanks everyone for listening. And be sure to reach out to us. We got goosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Blue Sky, probably at Say Cheese and Pod.
Yeah.
Great. Check us out over there. Thanks everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.